A very warm welcome back to Buram in Thailand for the Asia Road Racing Championships. Round 1 of 6 for the season. The beautifully appointed Chang International Circuit is the venue. We've just seen an underbone 150cc race end in a fabulous performance for Malaysia's Ahmad FIM run. Next up, it's the Asia Production 250cc, where we thought that there was disappointment for Thailand yesterday. There wasn't. These are the highlights. Look out for Thailand's Piawat Patumyas, the bike number 188 here in these highlights. He's regularly at the front, P3, just as we look in the early stages of this race. He had a slight moment then, was able just to adjust, and he was always close to Adananta Putra, Ray Ratakure, and Reza Danica Arons. Reza Danica Arons, bike 123, but also the Kawasaki's of Andy Mohammed Fadli, a former AP250 champion. Andy Mohammed Fadli it was who was leading with 6 laps to go, but the real battle was between Reza Danica, bike 123, and Adananta Putra, bike 21. With 188, just at the back end there, Piawat Patumyos, just making sure he was keeping close. The only Thai in the AP250 category field. Everybody was supporting. There was real noise in the grandstands in Buram as Piawat tried to make his way towards the front. There you can see he's just edging his way inside the Kawasaki's, and by now he's got himself into P2. Close behind him, Anji Setiawan, Andy Mohammed Fadli, and Ayoshi on the Kawasaki's were doing pretty well. But now it was down to a race between the top 4 coming into the final 2 laps, and Piawat begins to make his move. Adananta Putra, though, bike number 21, he's the real story of the last lap or so. You look at bike number 21, there he is in P4. He made a mistake, though. He exceeded track limits, and although Adananta would go on well, Reza Danica would go on and take the race victory. Sorry, Piawat would go on and take the race victory, but he exceeded track limits on lap number 12, on turn number 4. Reza Danica would be awarded the victory. He was given it ahead of Piawat, so everyone was cheering for Piawat. The pole sitter actually became the race winner, but he was later judged to have dropped down into P2, and Reza Danica got the victory. Oh, very confusing, but Piawat, although he celebrates being the winner, was not the winner because he abused his track limits. That's the fundamental thing. Corner number 4, Piawat was adjudged to have abused track limits. Reza Danica elevated to P number 1. Andy Mohammed Fadli in P3. Okay, that was yesterday. This is now live today at the Chang International Circuit, round 1. It's a 4.5 kilometer circuit with 12 corners. Corner number 12 is always the place we really want to be looking at because so much action goes on there. Piawat, who went over the line first yesterday, is on pole position, and I believe we can get a word with him with our co-commentator, Barry Russell.
Thank you, and we're down here on the starting grid, and we have a very special guest down here, just standing next to the poleman, Piawat Patumyos. We have Thailand's first ever Grand Prix winner, Somkiat Chandra. Somkiat, everybody in Thailand, everybody in the MotoGP community was so thrilled by your victory last weekend. First of all, congratulations. It was good to see you put the race together in such an accomplished way. So tell us now, you have the rest of the season to look forward to. What's your expectations?
Yeah, also in the last week I win in the Indonesia, and also I really happy, and also I did on last week like this, and finally I finished on the first, and I happy a lot. And also now next week I have a race again in Argentina. I hope the fans see me on the TV and will be enjoy on the TV in the next weekend.
And you've also been a big success story with Honda, because since you were much smaller than you are now, you started racing with Honda, and you've given us a great example of what a talent development system can do. And now you are here on the grid supporting the other younger riders. So, Piawat, we spoke to yesterday. Somkiat, thank you for joining today. Thank you for your support, and good luck in Argentina.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye.
And there we have it with Somkiat. The excitement has barely worn off from his victory last weekend, as you can see. Just while we catch the scene there, you can see him talking to Piawat Patumios. Piawat on pole position and just got edged out of P1 yesterday. He'll be looking to improve. That one finger, that's what it means. He's going for P1, as is announced. Big applause from the crowd. We really do have a terrific crowd here today, which is also good to see. Everybody's so excited to be back. If I can just, let me just follow the camera around. We're now with Adananta Putra on the grid, taking a look at him. One of the fastest guys around in this AP250 class, and looking forward to another good race. And let's look at P3, Ray Ratakuri. So close up there of Ray Ratakuri on that beautiful green 1XOX machine. And when we finish there, we're going to come across the grid and have a word with Reza Danica Arens. So here we are at the Astra Honda place, Reza Danica, who finished fourth and won from fourth yesterday. Reza, it's fantastic to see you back here at Chang International Circuit and in such good winning form. So you had a great fight with Piawat yesterday. What are you expecting from today?
Yeah, for sure, I will try to back podium again, and maybe will be tight fighting for this race, but I will focus for this race and try to enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and good luck for the race. Okay, now let's, as we just take a long look at yesterday's race winner, next we'll be going down the grid. Next we'll be going down the grid to have a word with Andy Fadley, looking ready for the race. He'll be looking to get back on top after his P3 yesterday. And we'll be going to have a word with one of the other riders as you just take a close look at the 2019 and therefore the defending champion for the AP250 class. A lot going around on the grid. Just take a look as we go down. We're heading towards a rider who's been here. This is his third season in ARRC, Sethu Rajiv from India. Also in India, motorcycle racing hero Sethu. It's good to see you here, my friend. You joined ARRC in 2018, and we've seen some good performances of you. What's your target for the 2022 season?
So yes, we are managing to get the field after 2 years. So our target is to move forward. So this is also a very tight competitive field this year. So I hope to move forward and do something good.
I hope so too. Good luck. You're looking incredibly cool on this boiling hot grid. Have a great race there too. So thank you. That's all our grid interviews for now. You can take a look around, and we'll hand back to Des in the studio.
Thanks very much, Barry. Yes, working hard out there in the heat as we have a look at Angie Setiawan. Angie is in row number 3, P7. Had a qualification time of 1:53.808. Yesterday he finished in P6 there. He was a big beneficiary from the last lap carnage that we saw on P12. Alongside him we've got Rafid Topan Susito. He finished Rafid Topan, got P4 yesterday. It's been a good weekend for LFN Indonesia Racing. He's riding the Honda CBR 250. And alongside Rafid Topan, you've got Hidlam Akimi Radwan, who's a young rider from the Idemitsu Bunchu Honda racing team in Malaysia. And he's highly regarded. You can see he's a young lad, but there's plenty expected of Idlan Hakimi. Herjan Atner Ferdaus will start in P10. He's on the 4th row of the grid. Qualification time 1:53.9. So he's within a second of Piawat's time, so not too far out of the running. And alongside Herjan, you got Aiki Iyoshi, who's the second of the Kawasaki's, the Motul Sniper Manual Tech racing team on the Kawasaki Ninja. He and Andy Mohammed Fadli, very capable of winning races at 250 level. Alongside Ayoshi, Fitriansha Kete, who had a pretty good position yesterday. He finished in P8, starting in P12, but one stage he was with the race leaders just outside the top 4, eventually finishing P8, so that's not a bad result coming from 12 on the grid. We've already spoken to Sethu Rajiv from India, who started 13th, finished 13th. We'll be looking to try and hit the top 10 for Honda Racing India. And Akid Aziz, who's made the step up from Underbone, will be on P14. This is Akid Aziz, one of XTKR racing team. Started 14 yesterday, did not finish yesterday's race, but again, he's one who's done very well at Underbone level in Malaysia. Cal Vietnam looking for, well, a very good performance yesterday, P9 yesterday. He was never genuinely challenging for a podium place, but his lap time's pretty good, a 1:55.0 in qualification. And the last man on the grid will be Sendil Chandrasekaran, who's the second of the Honda India racing teams. Love that drone shot, new little toy that the production crew have got to play with at the ARRC. So, Piawat will be hoping that he doesn't get bumped down a place this time. Just needs to be careful of those track limits that he abused in corner number 4. So that's why he was bumped down. Reza Danica, the beneficiary of that. And Adananta Putra will be hoping that this time his race is not ended prematurely, because he was looking really good. Nick was the Indonesian for Astra Honda Racing, but he got a DNF next to his name. And he's one of those who is very capable of going over the finishing line in P1. So here's the formation lap for us. The Kawasaki's leading the way as we have a look at Boram. It looks like a lovely, beautiful day. Piawat Patumyas from Honda Racing Thailand on the Honda CBR 250 in pole. Next to Adananta Putra. Look out for Adananta responding to yesterday's disappointment. Ray Ratakore from one XOX TKR Racing Team P3. Reza Danica, yesterday's race winner in P4. Andy Mohammed Fadli and Aldi Satya Mahendra completing the first 2 rows of the grid.
And in P7, we've got Angi Setiawan, Rafid Topan Suchipto. More about him later. Idlan Hakimi Radwan. And P10, Herjan Atna Ferdaus, and 11th, Aiki Iyoshi, and 12, Fitriansa.
And the 2 Indians completing the last 2 rows of the grid. You've got Sethu Rajiv, so a little India battle. Akid Aziz, Cal Vietnam, and Sendil Chandrasekaran. There is no starting point for Muzakir Muhammad, who is, again, I think he's one of the guys under COVID quarantine.
Could well be. Most of the mysterious disappearances seem to be due to positive tests, unfortunately, but that will be the pattern for this season, I suspect.
Now, let's hope not. Let's keep our fingers crossed and let's get this dreaded COVID under control. Right, on to the racing. Those who are here will be taking advantage as much as they can. Piawat. Have you had a chance to speak to Piawat about yesterday, the disappointment of being bumped down a place, Barry? Because I know you're pretty close to the Thai racing scene.
Yeah, I think they're just shrugging it off and going to put it right today, because if he does get P1 today, that will be 45 points from round 1, and that would be a very good weekend's work.
It is also a big if, to be fair. There are some very good races.
Absolutely.
Adananta, I'm really thinking Adananta. Reza Danica, yesterday's race winner. He looked very confident, Reza. Spoke very well, looked very steely-eyed.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and he's a really class rider. Yeah, he could pull off a double. He's done that a few times before in this class.
Certainly capable of it. Piawat is the last man onto his starting position.
But I was also listening as I came back into the commentary box what you were saying about Adananta, and I agree with you. I think we could see some a really good podium-changing performance from him today.
Red lights are off. We are underway. Piawat's got off to a solid start. So has Adananta, bike number 21. In fact, bike number 21 has stolen a march on just about everybody as they come into this tight first corner. It is Adananta Putra from Indonesia. He looks steely-eyed as well. Reza Danika's got himself up into P3. Ray Ratikore's made a strong start. Everybody off nice and safely, Barry Russell.
Yep, and the man we were just talking about, and the early leaders, they come up to turn 3. With Reza behind him, Piawat behind him, and we're looking at all the usual suspects, aren't we? Because Andy Fadley, the defending champion, has just moved from P4 into P3.
Yeah, the green livery of Andy Mohamed Fadley. He's got Ayoshi as a teammate for support, who's just tucked in there. So immediately everyone's looking at the slipstream, but Adananta has made a real start. I'm wondering if some of these guys have looked at what Ahmed Afif Amram did in Underbone. And you can make a break at this stadium, even in Underbone. So if you can do it in Underbone, maybe you have a go. Not 10 laps out, though.
Yeah, you don't want to shoot your bolt too early, do you? But yeah, that's a really nice start from Adananta, who did have that disappointment yesterday.
Adananta leads alongside Piawat in P3, I think. Yeah, Piawat's just looking out. Reza Danica and Piawat 2 and 3. Then you've got the Kawasaki's. Ray Ratakore nicely tucked in there as well. Ratakore, again, one of the Indonesians from the one XOX TKR racing team, but it's Adananta Putra who is leading the way for the Astra Honda racing team. Reza Danica, also Astra Honda Racing. They will be strong. 21 and 1, 2, 3 teammates going in to the corner number 12 in P1 and P2.
Yeah, as he did yesterday, Andy Fadley is keeping himself in contention. And another one to look out for is that yellow and gold machine of Rafid Topan. Yeah, I had a sit down with him yesterday after the race, and he feels he's got more to come. He's definitely going for the podium today.
Certainly Rafid has won races in the past. Ayoshi down in P9 at the moment. Sedu Rajiv has been dropped. Senthil has been dropped. Akil Aziz is struggling a little bit with the step up from 150s to 250s, certainly in this class, as Andy Mohamed Fadley takes the inside line at the hairpin at the end of the long straight. This is turn number 3. And then they come into what is probably your favourite corner on this circuit, turn number 4, because you've got to take it almost at 100%.
Yes, you have. It's my favourite heart-stopping corner on this circuit. It really is good. You come over at that little crest blind into the corner, and you just have to know where you are from having been around there a few previous times.
Yeah, that blind spot is awkward, and the runoff tells you that is a nasty little corner if you get it wrong. So they give you plenty of options to save yourself.
Absolutely. It doesn't do the bike bodywork any good, and it certainly doesn't do the
That's no bodywork done good for the bike either. Is that Piawat? No, surely not.
Let's have a look now.
188. Ooh, I can't see Piawat there, you know.
Let's just see. Got the,
unless it wasn't Setu Rajiv, maybe Cal Vietnam. I was looking at the colours. I didn't get a clean look at the helmet, but we'll have a look at that.
Okay, and here it comes. So the crash is coming from
Tell you
P5,
what, that's Piawat, you know.
P6. I think that is Piawat.
Well, the runoff has helped him there. The racing suit does its work as well. The man who has dropped down is Piawat Patumyos. So the Thai, who was bumped from P1 to P2 yesterday, will not be scoring any points today. Piawat is out of the race.
And indeed, the only Thai rider in this race is out. So disappointing for him. Reza Danica looking pretty comfortable at the front. And Andy Mohamed Fadley won't want to leave him there for too long.
Interesting that you see Ayoshi is there into P5 as well, but Rafid Topan as well in the black and gold of the LFN racing team out of Indonesia. they've made a real impact, haven't they? They've got smart colours, they've got the bikes well worked, they were a neat and tidy operation inside the pit lane.
Absolutely. They've got no data for this track, but they've had 2 days of testing and now 2 days of competition. So the third day of competition now. And it's not very often a rider actually beckons you over to speak to you. But he did yesterday, and he did sound confident. And look at that. Thank you, Rafid.
Another interesting one there, Aldi Setya Mahendra, the youngster, the young Indonesian for the Yamaha race, the Yamaha Indonesia team. He's in the blue livery. Now this is a really young kid who's making the step up from underbone into 250. He had a bit of an education yesterday, but this time it looked like he's hanging on a little bit better to the front end of the field.
Yeah, he's one of these young riders that comes in with a load of confidence. Obviously, his advisors have told him it's difficult to race in this class at this level, and he's just getting his head down, as we saw him in underbones previously.
Ayoshi with the lead for the Kawasaki. Reza Danica in P2. Adananta Putra in P3. Astra Honda Racing just trying to build on yesterday's victory through Reza Danica Arans. There is Reza Danica, has a look on the inside, but Ayoshi is leading the way. Andy Mohamed Fadli has been left a little bit, him and Ray Ratakore. And Aldi Satya's moved into P5 in the blue livery. Really keen to see if one so young can really develop in this category.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And there's Reza Danica just going through on Eiki Ayoshi, followed by Adananta. Ayoshi has, for me, been disappointing so far. Let's hope he can do something. He's a very quick, aggressive rider, so let's hope he can put a good race together now as we have 7 laps to go, plenty of time.
Adananta Putra leads, Rafid Topan in P2. Ayoshi, who was in 1, moves back into P2 ahead of Rafid. Aldi Satya and Reza Danica. Slipstream very helpful, just allows you to move on the inside. Make sure that you don't touch wheels as it gets so congested there. Oh, we saw there having to be a correction from Ayoshi as he was forced a little bit wide. Just had to stand up. He lost a couple of places as a result.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of flexing. I noticed Andy Mohamed Fadli a couple of laps ago just showing Reza Danica the way around turn 3.
Reza Danica showing Adananta Putra the way around the circuit at the moment. And you're quite right, you mentioned Rafid Topan. I've had my eye on him ever since, and he's looking nice and confident, nice and compact. Hunkering down nicely, good body shape.
Yeah, that would be good to see. See them mix it up. And who else have we got in that pack? We got Hergen, let's call him the third Astra Honda rider, sitting there in P6 and very close to the front. Let's see what happens this time around.
Oh, bit of contact there. The Rafid Topan nearly catching the back there of Reza Danica after hit caused Adananta Putra to stand up. The one real casualty so far of this race is Pewa Potumios, who slid out. Other than that, there was a non-start from Muzakir. Akid Aziz is struggling at this level. He's down in P15.
Yeah, Akid Aziz, hopefully he'll get to grips with these 250s as the season progresses, because he's a really talented, quick and clever rider. Did some brilliant stuff in underbones.
One man who's not too far off the pace is, who's that coming off? Like 19 is Idlan Hakimi Radwan for Idemitsu Bunchu Honda Racing Team. Completely lost it, he's in the gravel, his race is over. Not a great weekend for Idlan Hakimi.
Front we've got Honda, Kawasaki. That's a little bit pointless to call those out because they're swapping positions. So
indeed, yes. So at that particular second you had Honda, Kawasaki. 1 second later, Honda, Kawasaki.
Let me amend that too. There are lots of bikes racing very closely together.
And the man who's leading the way is Adananta Putra. He had disappointment yesterday. It was around about lap 7. I think that he went out of the race. So target number 1 for him will be to last longer than yesterday. Target number 2 will be to get on the podium. Target number 3 to win the race. And he's taking Reza Danica with him. It's looking good for Astra Honda. They've got the setup, I think, quite rightly. They've got plenty of data about this circuit.
Yeah, and they're a very well disciplined team. We're talking on the grid with Somkiat that Thailand Honda have a very good system for bringing people through, a very disciplined system. The same is true of Indonesia's Astra Honda team. Another real talent treadmill.
5 laps to go. Putra still leads for Astra Honda. Reza Danica, his teammate, alongside him. And as you say, the other Astra Honda, Herjan Atna Firdaus, he comes into P3. It's looking good at the moment. A 1-2-3 for Astra Honda Racing at the moment. Behind them, you've got Ayoshi and the Kawasaki Vandi Mohammed Fadli. So now Ayoshi is the new race leader. But still keeping pace with them is Rafi Topan.
Just look at this line round here. He took a very wide line. Reza Danica nice and tight. And Reza Danica's line proved to be more effective. Reza found a really good line through turn 12, which did him very well to help him win yesterday.
6 abreast as they come into this left-hander. Race leader remains to be Adananta Putra. Andy Mohammed Fadli in P3 just goes on the inside of Herjan Atna Firdaus into P2. This could get really congested because nobody's really been able to break away. So we know corner 12 on the last lap is in everybody's minds because that's what decides so many races at this circuit.
That's right. And after that earlier mistake, Rafid Topan moving back up into P3 this time, behind Fadli.
Who else we got there? Ali Sethi Mahendra and Anji Setiawan, the blue Yamahas. One of them is in contention. I think it's Anji Setiawan just at the very back there. No, bike 57 is Aldi Sethi Mahendra, who's ahead of Anji Setiawan. As they come in, it'll be 4 laps to go. Andy Mohammed Fadli will be leading going into the end of this lap. 4 laps now remaining. Fadli from Adananta, from Rafid Topan, from Reza Danica, Herjan. And this is a great train. What are we? Within a second, we have got the top 7 riders.
Yeah, don't ask me to pick a winner, Des. It's bad luck for the riders, and it's a surefire loser for me.
Yes, I did put you in that spot yesterday, didn't I? Never mind. That's why they pay you the big bucks, Barry Russell. But it's Reza Danica who's earning his money just at the moment. Bike number 1, 2, 3 in P1. Looking for a race double, a win double. It was a lovely way to start a 12-race season. And with COVID, we hope we complete all 12, but there's no guarantee of it. But Reza Danica will be looking to get a 50-point weekend. Behind him, he's taken Herjan Atna. We don't really speak about Herjan, but you seem to have a favouritism for him.
A little bit, because I mean, he's the new boy in the team. Reza Danica, of course, the senior rider. Herjan has been putting in a lot of laps through the pre-season test, which is why I wanted to come up here and take a look at that. I was impressed with his speed and just the amount of laps he put in. So another good spot by the Astra Honda talent spotters. And he's holding his end up really well. He's leading his 2 senior teammates there.
Herjan leads. Adananta Putra is still in there. Adananta Putra, bike number 21, Astra Honda Racing. There is a real chance for 1, 2, 3 here for Astra Honda Racing, because several times in this opening, opening 6 laps, they have been 1, 2, 3. Now it depends how much they work as a team. As Ayoshi tries to look on the inside, and Rafid Topan tries to spin his way through to break up that Astra party.
Yeah, we have seen a few Astra Honda podium lockouts in the past, so it wouldn't be unusual or beyond imagination for that to happen. But there are plenty of riders there, including Rafid Topan we've been talking about, including Andy Fadli, and including, I apologise for this, but the disappointing so far, Aiki Iyoshi. He's capable of more than we've seen this weekend.
Yeah, he did actually win one of the races in the 2022, the aborted 2022 season. So I think we're expecting an awful lot of Ayoshi, but as he goes into the lead. Never mind, Barry, never mind. Watch him go and win. He'll break away.
My karma's coming back from yesterday.
The 2 casualties so far, Idlan Hakimi Radwan and Pirwa Patumyos. But up at the front, Sendil is struggling with the pace. Akid and Sedu Rajiv are struggling with the pace. But that's because the pace is pretty frantic. last laps. There are several riders inside 155.
Yeah, and indeed, 3, I think, inside 154.
They get up to speeds of 200 kilometers an hour on the big straights, over 200 kilometers an hour. Rafi Topan hit 202 kilometers per hour yesterday as a maximum top speed. Herjam was also above 200 kilometers an hour, so they're really putting their foot down when they possibly can. Astra Honda leading the way, 2.5 laps still to go.
2, 3, 4. How many bucks have we got in that train? 10?
Yeah, all within a second. I mean, although Adananta and Reza Danica have dominated from the front, and Ayoshi and Andy Mohamed Fadli and Rafi Topan are in there as well. Ferdows has, he makes very interesting reading as well. Nurjan Adna, Astra Honda 1, 2, 3. Look at that, look at that. There's a possible lockout here.
Yeah.
Kawasaki Ninjas have got to get themselves a little bit closer to the action.
Yeah, Aiki Yoshi caught the draft there of, I think that was Herjun, to move inside as they went through turn 1. Let's see what happens on the long drag.
But on 3 occasions, as they come through lap 12, 1, 2, 3, Astra Honda Racing. I think that is looking very, very strong for them.
Yeah, let's see, the line through turn 3 has been interesting. Aiki Yoshi has been taking a wide line, which hasn't always worked out for him. Now he's trying. He's going wide again.
Top 10, all in with a chance. Ray Ratakore's there, Angie Setiawan's there. They're at the back of that train, but they've not been caught up. They've been able to look after their tyres because they've not been racing as such. They've just been taking nice clean lines.
Angie Setiawan is another rider who, I would say 2022, he needs to start putting some good races together. He's got the speed. I remember saying that a few years ago, Andy Mohamed Fadli.
Yes.
Who began putting races together in 2018 and then, of course, put that magnificent championship year together in 2019.
He was winning race after race after race, Andy Mohamed Fadli. I don't think that's going to happen this season because it's very congested. Ayoshi wins the curse of Barry Russell as Ayoshi leads the way ahead of Astra Hondas. Is that Reza Danica or I think it is, or Adananta? And in P3 is Andy Mohamed Fadli who's been dropped. It's Adananta who's in P2. Right, we're coming towards the tail end of the penultimate lap. This will be the corner. Nice little graphic down below of the Honda team and the Kawasaki teams looking on. Kawasaki 1 and 3. In fact, it could be Kawasaki 1 and 2.
Oh,
and after, that's Andy Adananta has dropped out again. Oh
what a nightmare.
Look at him, he is fuming.
What a time to fail.
That means a little bit of time for Ayoshi and Andy Mohamed Fadli to try and accelerate away. If they can help slipstream each other, as Adananta comes into the pits prematurely for the 2nd straight race.
That's hugely disappointing for him. He doesn't deserve that. He's put the work in this week. Look at Andy Mohamed Fadli trying to get up the inside of his teammate. He won't want to be beaten by him. He doesn't expect to be beaten by him. He's one of these riders that expects to win.
But do they work together for this lap to ensure a 1-2 and then race into the final 12, in final corner 12?
Let's make a judgment at the end, but I doubt it.
So it's Ayoshi who leads the way from Andy Mohamed Fadli. Rafi Topan in P4. Reza Danica looking for a race double, a win double. He's got himself in P3. Aldi Setya Mahendra, he's worked himself nicely up into P5. Well done by the young kid. Ray Ratakore's not out of it either, but it's Ayoshi leading from Fadli. Kawasaki 1 and 2.
Yeah, and Rafi Topan currently in P4, which is where he finished yesterday. And sounded confident that he could improve on that.
Reza Danica is the man in front of him, and then the two Kawasaki's there. We are halfway through this final lap of the AP250cc, race number 2. It is the Kawasaki 1-2. We come into the final corner 12. Andy Mohamed Fadli. Ayoshi goes wide. Fadli goes on the inside. Ayoshi tries to cut it. Oh, everybody lose Andy Mohamed Fadli. Big race with Rafi Topan. And the win goes to Fadli over Topan, over Reza Danica, over Aldi Satya, over Ayoshi, who lost it on the final corner. P5 for him, P1 for Andy Mohamed Fadli.
Andy Mohamed Fadli is going to be delighted with that. And Rafid Topan Suchipto, he put his money where his mouth is. That was incredible as we look at the disconsolate Adananta Putra in the Astra Honda pit. A rare failure by them.
There were almost tears from Adananta there, but Andy Mohamed Fadli takes it by a whisker from Rafid Topan Susito. And Reza Danica Arons, great weekend for him, a P1 and a P3. But Motul Sniper Mantech Racing Team, fastest lap for Andy Mohamed Fadli, 154.247. Also the race win as well.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful racing once again, and I better get my way down to Park Ferme.
Indeed, Barry Russell double teaming today. He'll be doing the interviews, and it'll be a very happy Andy Mohamed Fadli. But also credit to you, you called Rafid Topan. He called you over, he fancied it. And so Indonesia, 1, 2, 3, but 3 different teams. Aldi Satya, what a performance from Aldi Satya as well for Yamaha Racing Indonesia. So Fadli takes it by 1/100 of a second from Rafid Topan. Reza Danica, 1/10 down on them. Aldi Satya, 1/10 down on Reza Danica. Aoshi, P5, he lost it on the last corner. Ratakore, Herjan Ferdhaus, and Cal Vietnam, another top 8 position for Honda Racing Vietnam. Setiawan finishing 1 second off the pace for Yamaha Racing Indonesia ahead of Fitrianta. Well done, Sethu Rajiv, a little bit off the pace, but a top 11 position for him. Akid Aziz in P12. 13 Sendil, no finish for Adananta, Idlan Hakimi or Pirwa Patumyos. Terrific racing. Once again goes right the way down to the wire. Andy Mohamed Fadli, a P3 yesterday. He adds a P1 today. Reza Danica, a P1 yesterday. He adds a P3 today. So they will be sharing the lead at the top of the overall standings. That did not finish for Piawat. Rafid Topan, a P4 yesterday, followed by a P2 today. So really good weekend for them, and Ray Ratakore also interested. Now then, the result is not confirmed. The race result is under investigation. As soon as we hear, we will tell you what goes on. We don't know specifically what the investigation is, but as soon as we hear, we will report it back to you. So, Andy Mohamed Fadli, I don't think he did much wrong, but obviously it's not a confirmed result at the moment. But Fadli in the Park Ferme has P1. Level on points with Reza Danica, with 41 after the weekend. Rafid Topan, P4 and a P2. So it's all smiles at the moment. But there is an investigation ongoing. Okay, I'm just hearing that 1, 2, and 3 is okay. Andy Mohamed Fadli is confirmed. Reza Danica and Rafid Topan confirmed as 1, 3, and 2 in the order that I've just given you. But the race winner is not under dispute. Right, let's go over to Barry Russell. I believe he's got riders to talk to at the Park Ferme.
And we're down here in Park Ferme with yesterday's winner and P3 today. So a very good weekend's work for you, Reza Danica RNs. How was this race?
Yeah, first I say Alhamdulillah, but yeah, you know, this very tight fighting until the last corner, until finish. I touched another rider, but I'm happy with my race today. I say thanks to my team, Astra Honda Racing Team, all my crew, my mechanic, everything who support me. Thank you very much. See you for the next series. I will be back more stronger.
To get 2 podiums in one weekend in this class is a fantastic achievement. Congratulations, Reza Danica. And next we'll be talking to Rafid Topan Suchipto, if we can get him over here. as the celebrations continue in Park Fermé. And here he comes, Rafid Topan Suchipto. You called me over into your pit yesterday and you told me you were looking for an improvement on P4 yesterday, and you came in P2. That was a fantastic race. Tell us about it.
Yes, first I want to say thanks to my boss, Haji Putra. This year support me with the new team, and then I can get the result because Mr. Putra full support for I get the podium. And then for the rest, I'm get number second podium is happy because fighting is too hard, and I push. Another team is from factory, only my team pre-patter. I happy with this podium.
It was a brilliant performance, and congratulations to you and your team, Rafid. Thank you.
Thank you. And then I want one question. I present to my wife also, Merna Masya, and my family. Thanks for your support. For always I race in everywhere. Thank you.
That's beautiful, and congratulations and love to your family too. Thank you so much, Rafid Topan. And now let's talk with the 2019 champion, Andy Mohammed Fadli. And you're a race winner today. You picked up P3 yesterday. There's some nice points on the board. How was this race for you? How did you get the win?
Yeah, this race is very good battle. To can be a winner is very difficult because Honda back is very powerful here, and yeah, today is good for me because the condition is not hot like yesterday. So yeah, I can win here.
Andy, that was a great performance, and it's always good to see that big smile on your face. That's a fantastic start to the season. Congratulations to you and the team.
Yeah, thank you.
Race highlights from the Asia Production 250cc, race number 2 of the ARRC season. Piawat bike 188 on pole position for Thailand, but it will be a frustrating afternoon for Piawat as he would crash out and end with 0 points. Early on, Reza Danica, Andy Mohammed Fadli, bike 108, and number 21, the Adananta Putra for Astra Honda Racing. They were leading the way. There was an early exit there for Piawat, for Idlan Hakimi it was who went out skidding off very early on. Adananta, he stayed on. His frustration would come right at the very end. Midway through the race, there was a possibility of an Astra Honda Racing 1, 2, 3, as Hidlan Hakimi was the next racer to actually find the gravel, but the red liveries of Astra Honda Racing on 3 laps at the start of the laps, they were leading to really think that there could be a lockout. But Rafid Topan in the black and gold of LFN Racing Indonesia, he was always in the mix, and always in the mix were both Kawasaki's, the green livery of Andy Mohammed Fadli, who went on to actually win the race, and Aoshi, who was leading going into the final couple of laps. Then there's the problem for Adananta Putra. You can see the chain was hanging off. For the second race, he has to retire. This is the final corner. Andy Mohammed Fadli takes it just about perfectly. A little bit of aggro between Reza Danica and Aldi Satya, but the win goes to Andy Mohammed Fadli. He's thrilled to bits. Rafid Topan Susito very happy with his P2 as well. It was very close. Reza Danica picking up P3, but the win for Kawasaki's Andy Mohammed Fadli. Back to the live pictures. As you can see, the conditions, a little bit of breeze out there. It's not quite as hot and steamy. Even so, the riders will need the cover of the tent right by the winner's podium as everybody makes their way out for the prize presentation. It's a long old walk, but look how happy Rafid Topan Susito is. Even though he didn't win, he is thrilled to bits to get himself on the podium. And for Rafid Topan, it'll mean that he's probably in the top 3 at the end of this weekend's racing. Andy Mohamed Fadli and Reza Danica Arons, who had a pole apiece, a win apiece, and a third place apiece this weekend. They will be sharing the championship lead. There is Reza Danica Arons, look cool on the grid.
And the winner for 2022, race 1.
Reza Danica started from P4, finished P3. Rafid Topan, who actually didn't have the best of qualifications. He started from down in P8, but he's got himself P2. But Andy Mohamed Fadli, a former champion, qualified in P5, had a P3 yesterday, and today he's top of the pile. And we will look more on his performance as we celebrate the team award for Motor Sniper Manual Tech Racing Team after the Indonesian national anthem. Celebrations for the Indonesian national anthem. 2 awards of the trophy and also the KYT helmets for all 3 of the racers. And the Tanasiri, the managing director of Chang International Circuit, with the first presentation. Once again, must say how impressive the facilities and the organization of what goes on at Buriram is. It really has developed into an international quality, a world-level quality facility. And today, 3 Indonesians on the podium, but 3 Indonesians, Barry Russell, from different teams.
Yeah, an Indonesian lockout, but yeah, and you could see the grins from Andy, Andy in particular. But he and Reza Danica have had a similar weekend. They've scored the same points.
Indeed.
First and third.
First and third, 41 points each. Stefan Carapier will make his way up, the FIM Asia president. Gingerly makes his way up the stairs. And he
was going up a bit faster yesterday, wasn't he?
He was, but it's hot, as you said. Andy Mohamed Fadli said in the interview, it's not so hot. You've just come in sweating.
I know. I almost said, are you sure? But he should know better than me after that workout.
Maybe it's because he was going so quickly. So the helmets, KYT helmets, handed out by Stefan Carapier. And then we'll have the obligatory photo shoot. And this will make the newspapers in Indonesia tomorrow.
Won't it just?
1, 2, 3. And we were thinking there could be an Astra Honda lockout. Only Reza Danica makes it from Astra Honda Racing. Confirmation. Fadli, Rafid Topan, Reza Danica Arons, Kawasaki, Honda. All right, let's segue neatly into the overall championship standings. And I think you preceded it, Barry, by saying a first and a third means that we've got a shared leadership between Reza Danica Arons and Andy Mohamed Fadli. Identical first and thirds. Rafid Topan, good weekend for him. 33 points, a fourth and a second. For Ray Ratakore, 22 points, 2 fifth places. Piawat crashed out today. Ayoshi was demoted 2 places because of track limits abuse, so he's on 19 points. Aldi Satya, great performance from the young kid. Anggi Setiawan on 17 points. Herjan Atna on 15. Kao Vietnam, a 9th place and an 8th place finish, so that's good points for him. Fitrianta, Sethu Rajiv, 8 points. Idlam Hakimi and Akid Aziz still, I think, adjusting to the 250s. Senthil and Muzakea down at the bottom. Okay, that's halfway through this afternoon's entertainment. We've had the 150s, we've had the 250s. Coming up next, we're onto the Supersport 600. You're watching the Asia Road Racing Championship from Buriram in Thailand.